Forecast first from KARK4.
A pretty nice evening across Arkansas, all thanks to a big area of high pressure that extends from the upper Midwest and western Great Lakes states all the way down to the Mid-South. Very dry air and slightly cooler air making its way into the state over the course of the next couple of days. But of course, everyone is going to be keeping a very close eye on Hurricane Dorian, now due north of San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's headed for the northern Bahamas and eventually East Central Florida. Where it goes from there, well, we'll let you know in the forecast in just a couple minutes. Your forecast first for Little Rock. We are looking for a sunny start to your day on Thursday. It'll be comfortably cool around 64 and a pretty pleasant afternoon with low humidity. We're going to top it out around 90. KARK4 News at 10 starts right now.
Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters, this is KARK4 News at 10.
Some pretty intense video released today of an officer-involved accident. A police cruiser crashing into a building after it gets hit by a car in a Little Rock intersection. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10 o'clock, everybody. I'm Bob Clausen.
And I'm Ashley Katz. Both the officer and the driver were injured but have been released from the hospital. The video, though, is giving us some new perspective of what led up to the crash. KARK4's Mitch McCoy is in studio to walk us through it. Mitch?
Yeah, Bob and Ashley, good evening. The officer was responding to an assistant officer call. You see him in the video go through several intersections, but it was one right off Capitol that sent his patrol car into a building. Just before 3 p.m. Tuesday, a Little Rock police officer asked for help at a call. In new dash cam footage released, you can see an officer responding to that call for help with lights and sirens activated, going through several intersections. While rushing down Chester near Capitol, you see a car trying to turn left when it collides with the police cruiser. This surveillance footage gives you this perspective. You see the police SUV crash right into the building. After the crash, you can hear more officers be called to the accident.
Attention on unit secondary 1 is restricted for units at Chester and West Capitol. Can I get additional units to start over there with L52? I don't know what's going on.
Look, there's an officer-involved accident. I think we've already got on the radio. Just the emergency button got pushed.
Records show the officer was traveling at 65 miles per hour at the time. LRPD says the crash remains under investigation. Officers not saying who's at fault yet. No one was seriously injured in the crash. The officer did not have any suspect in the back seat at the time. I asked about policy while officers have lights and sirens on. I'm told officials expect officers to think safety first and drive for the conditions. Again, no word on who might be at fault in this wreck. Back to you.
Thanks very much. 2 women are dead. The man who state police say killed them was fatally shot by troopers Tuesday night in Helena, West Helena. State police identified the suspect as 37-year-old Raymond Williams Jr., who barricaded himself inside his home. The standoff lasted for nearly 7 hours. Police went to the home around 4 p.m. Once they were there, and they found the 2 bodies in the front yard. The bodies belong to these women here. One of them was his neighbor, Dina Banks. The other, her co-worker, Christine Fulmer. According to witness statements, Williams was upset that Fulmer was at his home. He apparently shot both of them. Police say Williams shot his rifle at troopers. They fired back, killing him. Apparently, we spoke to a 14-year-old who saw the shooting take place.
She had got out the car. Then I had seen him shooting at her. Then she had started screaming. Then he went back in the house, got a bigger gun, then shot her again.
His living condition was kind of poor. It was unkept. We found that information out once they did a thorough search of the house, Arkansas State Police. There he was suffering some crises. The utilities were turned off. There was no running water inside the house.
Arkansas State Police naturally investigating the shooting that happened as well as the double homicide. All 3 bodies have been sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab. Police release a toxicology report probably in the next few weeks, if not a month or so.
An Arkansas man already in jail on a capital murder charge is now facing a new murder charge after deputies say he confessed to killing his cellmate overnight. Our Kelly O'Neill shows us how it all happened and what additional charges he now faces.
It's a tragedy. Of course, we never want this to happen in our facility or anywhere.
Just hours after 22-year-old Dakota Harvey requested to move to a different block in the detention center, Luis Cobos-Zenobio was found laying on his back in the cell floor by his bunk bed. He was given CPR immediately but didn't survive.
Mr. Harvey had requested a transfer into that block where there was less crowding and he knew some of the people there, that kind of a thing. And I think that he had mentioned to our deputies that he was under at least a perceived threat from some of his block mates for his alleged murder.
Cobos-Zenobio died by strangulation, Harvey telling a deputy that he killed him because Cobos-Zenobio wanted him to do it. Sheriff Helder says the victim was on suicide watch back in November, but was taken off of it in December. And the two had known each other prior, but had no history of violence, aggravation, or not getting along.
And we did background checks. There were no indicators that this guy was going to do what he did.
Sheriff Helder tells us that Harvey was moved from the T block, which was severely overcrowded, over to the R block with lockdown cells that was still overcrowded, but had a little bit more space.
It's unusual to me that in a prison jail setting, if somebody wants to go somewhere particular, you start thinking, maybe there's something up.
Justice of the Peace Eva Madison says she was shocked to hear this happened in Washington County, hoping the county can take a hard look at the criminal justice system.
I think we need to be focusing on ways to get people through that pretrial process much quicker.
Harvey is now being held in isolation and is being charged with capital murder.
And that was Kelly O'Neill reporting. 2 months have now passed and still no arrests have been made in the murders of Alyssa Cannon and her 4-year-old son, Braden Ponder. Jory Worthen is accused of the killings, but there's still no clear answer as to where he may be hiding. Camden police arrested a man last month for helping Worthen after the murders. The family says the past 2 months have been really difficult to process, especially with today being Alyssa's 21st birthday. Friends and family say she was really looking forward to the day.
Always call and text and put something on Facebook, and we'd have a birthday cake, presents every year. But this one was the one she'd been waiting on. She was really excited.
A balloon release was held tonight in her memory. As for Worthen, he hasn't been seen in 2 months, and the search for him has expanded recently to Canada and Alaska. There is a $6,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
For years, the letters KKK were visible from the street on several buildings in downtown Fort Smith. Now, after a request from the mayor, they have been covered up. The letters had been welded on, all of them, now covered by stars resembling the U.S. Marshal's emblem. Mayor George McGill says he reached out to the owners of the buildings, discussing the perception the letters had in a city that prides itself on being welcoming to everyone. They agreed to cover them up.
I think the point to make is that how open our citizens are to listening to one another and doing an honest assessment of what needs to be done and then taking action.
We reached out to the owner of the buildings, but we have yet to hear back.
A new law that gradually raises Arkansas's minimum smoking age from 18 to 21 will take effect on September 1st, and that is this Sunday. It bans all tobacco products, including e-cigarettes, from those under 21. The law exempts members of the military. It also does not apply to smokers who turn 19 years old before 2020. The law also adds a new tax of 50 cents per 32 cigarette papers sold. Discussions from last night's meeting regarding the future of the Little Rock School District led to heated argument and protests. The board wanted to have 4 breakout sessions for people to give their input and share ideas, but the crowd refused to leave the church hall. One board member returned. Parents and teachers argued back and forth, with the members demanding changes for the district. Tomorrow, another meeting will be held, this one at Longley Baptist Church from 5:30 to 8 o'clock.